Hello everybody, welcome to Awaken Positive Power, where beautiful Darcy Marta, my co-host, and Jemima Godsall, myself, talk to you every week regarding topics surrounding depression, mental health awareness, and suicide prevention through awareness. Heavy topics, we realize, guys, so firstly, just let me say there is a disclaimer down below, sorry, just to cover things, but also there is, more importantly, a 1-800 number that is always available for you or for anyone you know who may need help, or an ear, or someone you know of who needs help. So never be afraid to reach out. And just briefly, Darcy and I are more we're trying to come from a place of friendship, trying to normalize the conversation around these topics. So we have experience in our own way, but we are coming from a friend place, so a camaraderie place. If you have any questions or queries or even topics of discussion, please, if you always put them down below. And don't forget to spread the word, guys, and maybe like or share this, because I think a lot of more people out there watch this but forget to sort of mention it, and then we can't get the algorithms or whatever out. And I think a lot of people would help from these conversations Darcy and I have. We come from different perspectives, and our input is really, I learned so much from her, and I think to say vice versa type thing.
So much from you as
well. Yeah. So it's really quite exciting to hear our conversation. Every week I walk away sort of feeling stronger and more aware of maybe some different way of looking at something. So it's always help. Anyway, so today, hi, yes, first thing, sorry, another thing, guys, authentic, 100% authentic, but I'm in a windstorm right now, so we'll hear my seat blowing away. No, so that's just Darcy and I having a joke before, but I'm going to try to remember to mute myself while Darcy talks, so good luck with that, Jemima. Anyway, today's topic, what I thought we'd do was, the question I presented Darcy was, how does an empath deal with a partner, someone who's very close to them, or anybody, but generally a close relationship, whose humor works around sarcasm, and the person who's the empath or extra very sensitive is sometimes unable to deal with it. I don't mean to laugh. Okay, straight up, we're talking about me. Okay, people, talking about me, but it's a very good topic, because it really sort of brought something between me and my partner, because I can't change his humor. I don't want to, because that's fantastic majority of the time. And I'm also able to handle that too and joke along. I'm Australian, I'm sarcasm, that's what we roll on, but sometimes it's a mood thing, it's a moment thing, it's a too much thing, it's a enough sort of thing. And it crushed me the other day, and it was really quite a moment where it was scary, because we thought, how do we deal with this? Because it's his humor, and that's beautiful. No one wants to change that, and it's who I am. I'm an empath, and I'm extra sensitive, and that's who I am. It's a beautiful thing, but it also can bring stuff like this. And we got stumped, and we got kind of sad, going, "Oh my gosh, what's the remedy?" So, what say you, Darcy, in terms of your input, like any magic cures, or what would you sort of say to someone like me asking you the question, which it is me asking you the question?
I have thought you have two different issues going here at work. There's two different issues going on. And so, first of all, I have a hard time dealing with sarcasm as well. And when I was teaching acting classes, I used to ask my actors not to create a line delivery as sarcastic unless it was really, really written that way. Because sarcasm is, it has its own rhythm, its own cadence, and it really changes the delivery. But sarcasm is a self-defense. It's a learned self-defense that a lot of people have mistaken for humor. And it comes to us in a lot of different ways. We've learned it over a lot of different ways. One, we learn it from television sitcoms, TV comedies, and stand-up comedy. There's a style of comedy that got really popular a long time ago with Don Rickles and what was her name? A couple of these stand-up comics that they learned how to be kind of mean and biting and witty and sarcastic, and then it kind of just kind of mushed out to the rest of the would-be comics to take that style. And so that little bits of sarcasm here, or little bits of wit there, just evolved into this continuous fishing out of sarcasm. It's a learned style. Why I say it's self-defense is because a lot of times it's mildly abusive that's been thrown at the individual. Like you'll be washing dishes and maybe you stop to do something and then you come back to washing dishes, and your family member, first they walk through when you were washing dishes and then you were doing something else and then you went back to it and then you're washing dishes. Family member comes back again and says, oh, you're still there washing the same dish? You've been washing it for an hour now. And having to make a comment on everything you do. Whoa, you're looking kind of sexy today. Going somewhere special? Or, hey, once a year, I guess it's good for you, right? Or whatever.
It's terrible.
Right. That funky joking, though, that it really is about trying to engage the other person, but it's a real misguided way. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt your role, but I just want to know, do you think there's a difference between men receiving it and female receiving it? Do you think there's a difference, literally?
No,
men? Okay.
Not at all. I have a friend who has a son, and I commented about this to him a long time ago, that he was constantly, making fun sarcastically of his kid when his kid was little. And I said, kids don't understand sarcasm. They don't understand it. They don't have a frame of reference. So what you're really doing is training him to say mean, snarky comments. He's going to grow up kind of snarky, and that's going to be his go-to, because that's how his daddy talked to him. Yeah, but it's jokes. The kids are literal. They don't understand jokes at all. They don't get it. And so we start teaching our kids at a young age these kind of snarky commentary that most of it's just really unnecessary. And some of it can be, really, really, really funny when it's at someone else's expense.
Yeah, and that's that's what I thought. It was the butt of the joke, and like I'm just constantly being dug at it is unnecessary. It felt really unnecessary, and because it was happening again and again and again, it started my energy, and it wasn't coming from an abusive place, which I know, and he would hate to think that too, because it's so far. But I felt that in the moment I felt like, my God, back off, leave me alone, like enough with just pick on the birds, like, because it's only him and there's only us to deal with.
Right.
Like, it was like, dude, like, just to get the energy off me and place it on making fun of the flies or something, Like, right. It was just, it's so.
He learned it. To me, says it was abusive towards him because his older brothers would pick on him, or his uncles, or whoever thought it was funny to pick on the little guy in the family. Older brothers picking on little ones and that kind of thing, and making a joke. My older sisters used to do it to me, right? And then you find the older kids doing it to the younger kids. And so sarcasm really needs to be used in small doses. And like I said, it's generally funny when it's about anybody but you. So when the comments are about you, it's like, ow! But when they're about somebody else, we don't laugh, right? Until we realize, wow, that's really kind of hurtful. How did you learn to talk that way? I also have a problem with people who use too much metaphor. I have a friend who uses metaphor for everything when they want to have a serious conversation, and I have to go, time out. I just want you to say it. Just say it. Don't give me like analogies about baseball or whatever you're going to pick on. Just tell me exactly what you're telling me.
So how do you think, how does one deal with that in a relationship? Like, because we don't want to we can't change the behavior necessarily.
Yeah, you can.
But other person has to be willing to and conscious of it. I can't change.
Well, I think you need to have that conversation. So couples grow together, they work together, and they change together. And if there's a behavior that's detrimental to the other, then that's something the couple needs to address and face and work on together. I'm not saying that, okay, Jemima, you and I are in this relationship and I want you to start wearing long sleeve shirts and combing your hair back tight and no nail polish. I mean, I'm not trying to change who you are as a person, but I certainly can say, you know, when you make comments about me, it's really hard for me to deal with. I had to say that to some close friends of mine. So being the youngest child in a somewhat abusive family, I used to put up with this all the time growing up. Everybody would make fun of whatever I was doing. You know, oh, it takes her 5 hours to wash the dishes. Oh, did you finally come out of your room, out of your cave to say hi? I mean, there wasn't anything I could do that somebody wasn't going to make a comment on. Oh, your dress looks really Hollywood today. Oh, you know, it's just absolutely everything was constantly being sarcasmized, you know, joked about. And so I was so used to it that I was in a relationship and I was at a party and my boyfriend made some snarky comment about me to some friends I was standing with. You know, it was, my eyes used to be black, and he said something like, "Don't look into the black pits. She'll do whatever. Then the anger might come forward, and the whole place will blow up," or some ridiculous comment. And the girl that was with the other guy goes, "Well, if you don't like it, then why don't you just leave?" And I'm like, oh my God, she stood up for me. I was like, whoa, I didn't even realize that I needed someone to stand up for me for all these years. And I walked away that night going, that's right. All those nasty comments that I've allowed at myself for my life. And then when my one friend who loves to tease me started teasing me, I said, I can't take it. No more teasing. Please don't make jokes about my dark eyes and my intense stare. Please don't make comments about my intense line delivery or my, you know, whatever I'm going through. I don't need it. I can't take it anymore. And I really need you to stop. She had a hard time with it. She was like, well, I'm only joking. And I'm like, I get it. I understand that you're only joking. I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, that's what happened with Chris and I. Sorry. I said, you know, I'm asking you to actually help me because I'm not strong enough at this stage to deal with that, and I don't know. Sometimes someone thinks like this, and I don't know, and I'm trying to deal with that, just discovering who who I am and what's going on, and how I'm going to deal with it. And I know, and it's not you. My interpretation is not funny. And so I can see how it's funny from your end. I know why you're just joking, but for me, breaking my spirit. So I'm asking you to help me. So I guess we handled it pretty well. Thank God we were able to talk about it, but it was just really.
So you want to address the concept of change and growing together. Change and growing together is a big thing. You know, that's why I would suggest you read that book, Codependent No More. Understanding boundaries as you're living with somebody, understanding that, you know, I have a boundary here about sarcasm as a sense of humor. I don't respond well. So I don't like it. It hurts me. And I really want you to try to work on, you know, changing, you know, or, you know, using it rarely, or however we can manage to keep your lively sense of humor, but without it being hurtful. And do it together.
Yeah. I think humor is such a wonderful thing in a relationship, but then I never realized that we're so blessed to be able to have humor as a basis of our relationship, which is wonderful. But it's funny just recently now seeing this whole sarcastic thing, which I work so well with him a lot of the time. It's amazing how it just sort of shift into, I don't know what I'm really saying, but it was a discovery of how messed up I am in a way, and how much I've got to deal with, but also how it really is kind of an abusive form of, indirectly, and it's not meant to be. I know, Chris, I'm sorry, my love.
No, it's not meant to be, right? Yeah. Not at all. My friends didn't realize because I had that boundary up. Yeah. My son deals with it sometimes. You know, he he's half Asian, and he was with his group of friends, and somebody made an Asian joke, and he was like, "You guys realize I'm half Asian, don't you?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're just joking." And he was like, wow. Yeah. he's like, Mom, how do I deal with that? And I say, you set a boundary and you tell him, I don't like it. Please don't make Asian jokes. It's really hurtful.
And what if like they continue to, like, not consciously, but it's just such a habit that do you point it out every time and say, there we go?
Yeah, you can say, that's another hurtful Asian joke.
Right, okay.
That's another hurtful.
Yeah, I need to maintain a place of objectivity when I say that, not emotional connection. So that it's not perceived as another bone of contention between us. It's more like, hey, there we go. But even that sounds wrong. But yeah, I'll find a way.
You can say, okay. You can say, you can come up with a safe word. You can say, time out, pause. I love pause. I love pause. Yeah. Pause. That's one of those, you could say pause. That's one of those examples of humor and sarcasm and how it becomes hurtful. Just say, let's pause and reset that humor. Pause and reset the humor. Pause and reset. I have to say, fortunately, I'm with someone who will pause. I'm a blessing. So my past relationships, there's no way, and I wouldn't even be discussing this because it will be my fault. And it's just amazing to be able to grow this. But it was a moment really where we both had a sad moment going, my God, how do we work this? Because you can't change your humor, we can be consciously aware but of our own reaction and our own response to each other and of our own behavior. But still, it's like a massive thing. I'm an empath, and he's got beautiful, sarcastic, joking, loving, silly humor. What do we do if it doesn't go well? Like that could be it. We don't want it to be at all because humor that would break it up. Yeah. Well, he's not surrounded by his guys, where they're all zinging each other all the time. He's not surrounded by those guys anymore. He's out of that environment, and he's got to, dial it back. He doesn't need that persona. That's not his total personality. That's just a persona that he cultivated over the years, and that it's not working right now. And that's what change is about. And there's nothing wrong with change, but it's in a healthy vein. I think that my son said, well, what if my friends keep making those jokes? And I'm like, well, then are they really your friends? Are they really people you want to hang around? Does he really want this part of his personality to be there? Does he really need to do this? Well, then he's going to eventually need to go back with those group of guys and hang out with the bros and be that way. And that's okay if that's his choice. But he's evolving as well into a new part of his persona. Which is sensitive, aware, and he's picked a woman who is on a healing journey. And so his subconscious is saying, okay, I am willing to learn all sorts of new things about so body, mind, and spirit. Look at what I've told you.
Such a blessing. Like, you can't have enough gratitude for it. What else? When people, just this, whoever's watching, when I broke the tie of I was in an abusive marriage for 14 years, and then I jumped into a relationship for three to 4 months, and it ended up being abusive. But that second he hit me, I left immediately. I had to find someone else. That's how I ended up in Cottonwood, how the story unfolds. But it was as soon as I could feel the angels, the guides, the history, the ancestors even, I broke that tie immediately of abuse. And literally, I thought it was way too early, but 48 hours later I had my home and I met Chris. I hadn't got together with him at all. But it was just like, they went, here's your gift, you did it, you broke the tie to physical abuse in relationships. And it was like this instant, I felt the gift go like this. Here we go, yay, she finally did it. And she learned a lesson, an immediate snap of that cord to that from my ancestors as well. Like, I think it was a massive connection to, I wouldn't know who, because it wasn't talked about in our families, but I know there's definitely been history there of abuse within relationships. And it's just, I thought it was crazy gifts. So people, when you cut those ties to something that you know is not good for you and you repeat that pattern, when you can walk away, God, the universe gives you amazing things in return, especially what you've been manifesting. I've manifested this my whole life, dreaming this person. I keep going, my God, are you for real? Even the things it says, it's like, it was such a gift in return to say, yes, you've done it. You've past this hurdle. And if I stayed one more day, I'm sure none of that would have happened. I'm sure it would have been, I wouldn't have broken the spell of the addiction to abuse and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, and incite people to remember to stay gold to yourself. Like if you're in a bad situation, find the courage within to walk away. Like something better is around the corner. What's worse?
Find someone to help you find that courage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Find somebody to help you find that courage. We all have it in us. We just need somebody to support us in order to
hear us. Someone to hear us. Yeah, definitely. Hey, on that note, Darcy, do you have a card to pull or something to say or
What would you like?
That was an interesting topic. I was excited all week to sort of, not all week, pretty much all week because it was the only week to discuss that, because I love your information, I love your input, and it was just, I thought, I'm sure a lot of people have that same sort of situation. Like, I see couples that are sarcastic, it's not the right time for that girl or that guy to hear that, and they fight, and you think, oh my God, but that was all coming from somewhere they weren't expecting that snap in return, but they also weren't conscious of that partner that wasn't in the mood to be the dig of a joke. You know, it's like, and how sad is it that causes so much a rift. Humor causes a rift between the people when that should be the thing that brings people together. So I was just really miffed by, especially how we were so sad. Oh my God, what do we do with this? Like, do we go to therapy? Like, how do we work? I mean,
that's what couples therapy is about getting people to understand that making changes in a relationship in order to facilitate the relationship is not necessarily a bad thing. If someone's asking you to make a change, you have to look at what is the quality of that change. What is the understanding of that change? If they want you to change everything, leave your friends and leave your job and give up everything for that person, well, then I would say that there's something wrong there, definitely.
Just a little bit.
But if they're asking you to look at your language and understand how that language could be detrimental to the relationship, I think that's a totally fair request, and it needs to be done for both people. So you setting a boundary and helping the partner understand that this is a boundary is important.
The good thing that we don't have to go to therapy, because I just get him to listen to this tape. Scored. Sorry, it's true. When you say it's true, people, like, for one, I said, listen to this, Chris, you got all the answers. He'll come back going, man, that was awesome what we got, learned so much. And we'll come back going, that's amazing. And rightly so. But what a great bonus is that is. Okay. Anyway, but thank you. That's really, just important for all of us to know, to create those boundaries and not be afraid of change. Doesn't mean to changing the person. It's changing a part of the behavior that can help strengthen the relationship. Both sides.
Talk to him about it. Make sure you're doing it together. That you and say, let's try to use pause and reset. I mean, that's what I do. I do that all day with my kids. I do that with my son. If he's like speaking out and being really mean to me, sometimes you have to blame your mom for everything, right? mom. So I'll say, let's pause and reset. Let's pause and reset. So, the comment, the sarcasm is too heavy right now.
Yeah.
Reset our sense of humor. What would you rather say? And see if you can find it that way.
Well, I'm very lucky that I have a guy who's immediately attentive to going, okay, and wanting to work it. So it's just a huge, but I think just briefly, I think what is, I hope he can get used to is not to take the burden of it on, rather than I'd say rather get excited about it, because this can help us grow closer, rather than feel guilty. That was the thing. I don't actually feel guilty. It's not about being guilty. I just need to make this known so we can fix it quickly, and it's still so new.
Into a healthy relationship, you have healthy boundaries, you have open communication. Otherwise, you feel about it. Ooh, comment. Ooh, now this is not fun anymore. You get into that mind loop thing, and then it comes out inappropriately later.
Totally. That's not going to happen in this relationship.
I chose a card.
Yay.
I chose bat.
Oh, okay. What does it say underneath?
So this is Diana Cooper's cards, the animal angel cards that are
beautiful.
Darling. So Bat says, see through illusion into truth.
Are you kidding me? That is crazy. I mean, sarcasm is an illusion, you know? Oh my God, anyway.
Yeah, right? So bats originate from another universe and step down through Sirius, where they hone their knowledge about sonics and echolocation to fit in with the atmospheric and energy of Earth, the atmospheres and energy of Earth. So Archangel Michael helps them to develop their throat chakras, which is significant here, throat chakras, to use these skills to navigate and demonstrate how to do things differently. Through their advanced throat centers, they link us to the planet Mercury, which is its ascended aspect is telephony. I don't know that one. The broadcasting station of our universe. All right, these highly evolved beings hold much cosmic wisdom as well as the divine feminine secret. Bats are amazing mothers, by the way.
Okay. Wow.
Right? It's really neat. And their sole mission is to disseminate it on Earth. They remind us that it is possible for mammals to fly.
Wow.
They are also learning and teaching about sharing responsibility with the community and birthing and caring for babies, helping to develop their heart centers in their quest to become fully fifth dimensional. Bats are highly sensitive to their surroundings, and they work very closely with Archangel Varenka. So if you're into angels, there you go.
Beautiful.
So choosing this card suggests you open your heart and pour love into caring for and nurturing those close to you.
Okay.
Right? So you got to come at this conversation with love, caring, and nurturing for yourself as well as for him. When you raise the frequency of your heart center, it enables your throat chakra to expand too. This is communicating what you need and expressing yourself freely and openly. So focus on communicating with love and integrity. And then ask Archangel Michael to help you develop telepathy and your other psychic abilities. Tune into the bats to download your highest potential and perhaps even with the spiritual technology of the future. The guidance is to look at the world with fresh eyes, perceive everything with wisdom, love, and nurturing. Listen to your intuition to discover the reasons beyond the obvious, and expand your life to remember there's always a new way to do things.
Enough said. Can't make this. Oh my God. Well, thank you, Bats. Thank you, Bats. Thank you, Bats. Thank you, Darcy. That's fantastic. It kind of makes sense here. And coming from that place of love, that's one thing as we go that I was challenged with this week. I felt myself fall into the wounded child that still is in recovery. and that's what probably made us sad, because I know, and I felt, I was like, oh no, I didn't want to react that way. I wanted to try to come. So the second time I came back and just said, I'm just trying to talk to you about how to work this. But yeah, working on coming from that place of love rather than, because I know it's not from a place of malice at all. Right. It doesn't work for me right now. So I find it hard enough to be strong myself. So
and just remember that you're learning something really important, a new way to do things. Set your boundaries clearly and simply from a place of love, as you learn to love yourself as well as love someone else.
True.
So by stating my boundaries, you need to help me honor it. Come up with a way to help me honor it and to help you honor my boundaries, so I can help you to still be the wonderful, funny, loving guy that you are.
I'm so glad he can watch this. I have to go. I think she said, just check out the video. On that note, people, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Excellent conversation. If you want to join us next week, we'll be same time, same bat place. Oh, bat place, how funny. Peace out. Thanks, Darcy. You rock. Bye.
Bye.